Robschild. Nothing I say is investment advice. Welcome to the show where we view financial markets through crystal ball gazing. J.P. Morgan once said, "Millionaires don't need astrologers, but billionaires do." And so we begin. Today is Thursday, March 21st, 2024. What happened? I said in previous shows we're not going to see a new closing high in the triple Qs, and lo and behold, the triple Qs had an all-time closing high today. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. I see. There's a little smudge on my crystal ball. Oh, yes. Now it's the top of the market. Now we're going to see it turn over. I mean, so where am I on this? I am still in the bear camp. Gareth's always shows better than mine. Watch this show. Use mine as a supplement. Verified investing, by the way, he has two channels. It's his name and then verified investing. If you just want to follow a bunch of charts. I try to give a little bit of a macro view with mostly macro views, and I try to condense the information on this show to be what I think is like the richest stuff to pay attention to. That's what I do. But on his show, he's still bearish on this based on a number of patterns, and he saw some things, and I saw some things as well on a macro standpoint that I want to share. Bigger point being is that, this is, from my perspective, at least on the triple Qs, this was probably one of those instances where we're squeezing out, we're stopping out basically some of the shorts in order for it to actually go short. If too many people go short on something, because everybody agrees, the market just automatically goes all the other way. So everybody gets stopped out, and then it goes where it wants. Now, it's a little or a lot arrogant of me to, be 100% confident in, markets turning over. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball. I do have a crystal. I'm the guy with the crystal ball. Remember that. So I want to go over some charts of things that I noticed. Number one, the S&P 500, we have this upper trend line that we're still bumping our head, and this could really be a top where we turn over. And I don't only have these two lines. I have a few more charts I want to show you to give more evidence to the weight that this really is a top in markets here. The first one I wanted to point out was the dollar index. Gareth brought this up on his show today as well, but before I heard him talk about it, I did notice it myself. Yesterday we saw the dollar dropping, and the dollar will drop when there's very dovish news, like the Fed's going to cut rates, because it diminishes the value of the dollar. And so that was a normal thing to see, coinciding with markets going up. That makes sense. Today didn't make sense. We have not just a pop in the dollar, but we have an engulfing candle that took out the opening and the closing of yesterday's bearish candle. And so this is a powerful reversal. This is, I had talked about yesterday seeing confusion out there with just like massive battles going on, especially in HYT, high yield corporate, and the bond market in general, treasury bonds as well. And the battle's not over. There's a fight here. I think the bears are going to win. The bears are still going to win. It's right there. I can see it in the crystal ball. One way of looking at this is, what is smart money doing? What is dumb money doing? Smart money has a lot of bonds. Like, the bond market is infinitely bigger than the stock market. It's like the stock market is we'll call him the grasshopper, like from Karate Kid or whatever that's called. it's the Karate Kid of investing compared to the bond market. And what are bonds doing? So let's take a look at a few things. So HYT, once again, sleepy, HYT, high yield corporate. I mean, I had noted yesterday how everything was going crazy and HYT just didn't care. And, this thing's just, it's barely moving. It's like, so what happened? So it went up a little bit today. I think this was mostly because of longer rates going down a little bit today. When borrowing costs are slightly cheaper, then bankruptcy risk is slightly less of a problem. And so everything's kind of making sense here. But overall, we're just it just generally doesn't really care still. And then looking at the bond yields, again, the treasury bond yields, this is the 30-year treasury bond. I think it's the most important market to be following to see what's going on. Again, sideways, we're not going down. And actually, it's ticking down here a little bit, but generally nothing going on. So smart money is sitting on the side. They don't really care. They're not seeing an ultra strengthening of the economy. They're also not seeing an ultra weakening of the economy. It's not seeing huge inflation coming. It's not seeing a collapse coming. It's almost like it's waiting for the stock market to collapse or something before it's like, it's like, hey, come back to us now, and the yields go down. I think that's what's going to be happening. So that's what's happening here. Smart money is just, And what is dumb money doing? Let's take a look at the dumbest money that's out there. Let's start with Bitcoin. So we had a pop in Bitcoin yesterday, and while everything else is continuing up, this thing it's still excited, it's still elevated. This thing is not collapsing. So from my view, Bitcoin, one of the dumber monies, is not cooling off here. They are still keeping this market well and live. A few other things I want to point out. Reddit stock. The IPO at $34 a share. This company's never made a dime, and people are paying. There was an argument about this company coming out that a lot of the people that were expected to be buying into it weren't going to be buying into it, and dumb money is here. Let's just say dumb money is alive and well. We have it going up 50% today. A company that doesn't make any money. So we'll see how that plays out. And even dumber than this money, let's find the dumbest money in the world. Cannabis. The cannabis market. The cannabis market's really excited here. We went up 8% today. So, the way I see it, the dumber the money gets, the more excited they are about the valuation of what it is, and the smarter the money is, the more they're kind of just like, let's just see what happens here. I'm still bearish on the Qs. I still have 5% of my portfolio in a SQQQ, which is a triple leveraged bear fund of the NASDAQ. I'll be holding on to it at least through tomorrow. Yeah. And it'll go up. I mean, who knows? Maybe I am the dumbest of the money and I'll be losing out on that. But again, 5% of the portfolio versus all of my other holdings, which are actually long in areas that I think are just undervalued in general and have a good chance of coming in through equity exposure kind of broadening out with investment. And so playing both sides in that way. That's all I have for you for today's show. Thank you very much for watching. Robschild.